We are all aware of the elites crafting the best, if not the greatest shots that leave you in awe. Look at this frame. Someone cooked here, right? What's the secret sauce? And therefore, how can you master the art of composition? Let me explain from my own filmmaker's toolkit. There are many visual tools in your artist arsenal to create striking narratives. One of the most important is composition. Crafting a compelling scene isn't just point and shoot. The art of composition determines what's in your frame and how it's arranged. No matter who you are, filmmaker, photographer, or visual storyteller, composition is everything. Even if you have never studied it, you have likely used it because it's instinctual. I'm not one for rules, so let's call them what they are. Guidelines. By understanding these guidelines, you'll be prepared for anything. As a filmmaker, I often shoot in unfamiliar places with zero prep. Research helps, but nothing beats being able to see with intention. And that's everything. My goal in this video, it is to lay out the foundational elements of composition. Not for memorization, but to give you a head start as you find your voice. How do you tell a story in one image? That's the ultimate question. When you look at a shot, ask yourself, where does your eyes go first? How does it move? One painter once said, the goal is to make the eye go on a circular journey, never allowing it to leave. That's what you want, to trap the viewer's eyes and let it dance around the frame. Because at its core, composition is communication. But here's the twist. Your audience already has a lifetime of reading images. They might not explain it, but they can feel what works and what doesn't. And if you want to take control of your story, you need to understand how composition shapes perception. There are no absolutes. Sometimes you'll want to make the audience feel uneasy, cramped, and therefore claustrophobic. That's where knowing when to break the rules matters. So here's the challenge. Don't just look at a scene and therefore see a tree and a hill. Look deeper. See curves, the hill, lines, the branches, softness, the grass, and therefore sharpness, the leaves. And focus your eyes. Notice shapes, notice textures. What follows is a breakdown of composition elements, not rigid laws, but century-tested principles to help you see differently. Let's begin. Composition is the arrangement of elements within an image. It's how you convey emotion, meaning, and therefore narrative without saying a word. It's where you place your subject. It's how you use color. It's the contrast between subject and negative space. It's everything. While there are no fixed rules, there are guidelines that help artists communicate their vision. In many ways, you already understand them. You just don't have the language yet. Now, let's give them names. Let's talk about film composition techniques. There's no perfect formula. But these principles can take your shot from basic to brilliant. Let's dive into the most essential ones. Focal points. A focal point is exactly what it sounds like, the place you want the eyes to land. But if you want multiple points of interest, which one is more important? How do you lead the viewer's eyes? You use composition, simplicity. Remove everything that doesn't serve the image. If you want clarity, get rid of distractions. It's clean, it's powerful, it's focused. But beware, simplicity may sacrifice complexity and therefore nuance. That's okay. Sometimes that's the point. Rule of thirds. Divide your frames into thirds, 2 horizontal and 2 vertical lines. Place your subject at the intersections. It's simple, it works, it's everywhere. It creates natural tension and therefore visual balance. Off-center subjects give your image space to breathe. It is also suggested that the horizon is placed on either on the top or the bottom horizontal line. Golden triangle. Now we dial up the drama. Draw a diagonal, add perpendiculars. You get a triangle that creates dynamic tension. We are not used to diagonals in everyday life, so when you introduce them, it feels unfamiliar. That's the magic, that's the tension. Leading lines. Lines that lead the eye to your subject. They can be roads, fences, bridges, or subtle ridges, tree branches, beams of light. Horizontal gives a sense of calmness, vertical is powerful, diagonal is dynamic. Curved lines represents a journey, converging lines leads to focus. Shapes. Shapes are everywhere. They carry meaning, whether you see them or not. Triangles are often used to illustrate strength and therefore power dynamics, suggesting a hierarchy. Circles can bring an entirely different dynamic to a composition. In some cases, a sense of harmony. We can also think in terms of how shapes are created by the relationship between subjects or between the subject and the background. Use them within a frame. Use them to frame. Frame within a frame. One of the most iconic techniques in cinema. Use windows, mirrors, doorways. Anything to isolate your subject within a shot. It's not just beautiful. It tells the story. Texture and patterns. Texture speaks to our sense of touch, even in 2D. Patterns. They hypnotize the viewer. Establish a pattern, then break it, and therefore you have got attention. Repetition. Use it to echo an idea. Use it to guide the eye. Use it to build rhythm. Repetition amplifies the message and therefore the emotion. Space. Positive and negative. Positive space is what's there. Negative space is what's around it. Use negative space to create isolation, to create scale, to create a mood. Sometimes what's not in the frame says more than what is. Fill the frame. Extreme close-up. Emotion, texture, detail. Nothing else matters, just the subject. You command focus, you build a connection. Depth. Now let's add dimension. Create layers. Foreground, middle ground, background. Add vanishing points. Use focus, use overlap. Depth gives your frame breadth. It makes 2D feel 3D. Balance. Symmetry and asymmetry. Symmetry is powerful but predictable. Asymmetry is dynamic. It creates visual tension. Use visual weight to balance the frame. If one side is heavy, counter it softly, subtly. Let the frame feel right even when it's imperfect. Golden ratio. It's the spiral, from large to small, from chaos to order. Use the ratio to sneak the viewer's eye to the subject, without them even realizing it. Contrast. Light and dark, big and small, warm and cool. Contrast is the golden rule of visual storytelling. It draws attention, it creates a mood, it tells the story in silence. Color. Color is emotion. Red relates to danger and passion. Blue is calm or cold. Yellow gives a sense of joy or madness. Use complementary colors for drama. Use analogous colors for harmony. Use monochrome for mood. Color doesn't just decorate, it communicates. Tone. Tone is about feel. Bright, dark, warm, muted. It changes the entire atmosphere. Use a global tone to set the overall vibe. Use a local tone to highlight your subject. Angle. How we see changes what we feel. Eye level is neutral. High angle is vulnerable. Low angle is powerful. Overhead is omniscient. Your choice of angle is your point of view. We opened with the question, what's the secret behind every great cinematic shot? Now you know. It's not a secret, it's intention. And intention begins with understanding composition. Your perspective is unique, just like your fingerprints. Your voice is your gift, just like your mom and dad told you. Master the tools, learn the rules, then break them, and go make your next shot the best one yet. Happy composing.